Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Living Free Joyfully. Sorry for my voice, but thank you for tuning in. I am so glad you made it. If this is your first time tuning in, I am Kim, and this is a space where we find spiritual freedom with joy. So tonight I wanted to share with you just a little story time, just to encourage you, just to let you know that trouble don't last always, and there is joy in the morning. I'm going to tell you about how I almost got trapped by a dusty man. That is right, a man was dusty, he almost got me. So this was back in 2019 when I was just beginning to date again. And I was, naive, just, trying to break out of the purity culture so-called movement. And I was, learning what I liked, what I didn't like. So I came up with these 5 rules that I needed in order for a man to have a first date. 1 was that he had to be Christian. 1 was that he had to have a job. 2 was that he had to have a job. 3 was that he had to have a car. 4, he had to have his own place to stay. And 5, preferably no children, but at least 1 kid was fine, right? No more than 1. So I tell you these criteria because unbeknownst to me, I went out on multiple dates, okay, with a man who wasn't any of these things, okay? Not 1 criteria was met. And it was because I was naive and I was excited about dating, and he was, attractive, and he talked a good game, and I fell for it. And so let me tell you what happened. So we're going to call him Gary. So I met him on, I think, Plenty of Fish. And we were messaging and talking for a few weeks, but nothing happened for real. And then after a while, he reached back out because we had exchanged numbers. And I was like, who is this? And he sent me his picture, and I was like, oh yeah, you Gary. And so the summertime rolls around, and he was like, hey, let me take you out. And so I was like, okay. So we chat, decided to go out, and he, talking like making plans. And then he kind of changed the subject, and I was like, so that should have been my first flag, right? The first red flag. I should have noticed. I should have picked up on these things. So then, I'm a busy woman, so I ain't think nothing about it because, my life is full because I'm living free and joyfully. So I'm busy. I ain't think nothing about it. So I didn't cancel. We was like, we're going to go out on this date, even though he had changed the subject. Okay, so we got trouble. Fine, whatever. We're going to go out on this date. No, okay, this date. So we talk about 2 more weeks before we actually meet up. And so I was asking questions to I got these criteria. I got these 5 things I need to make sure you are before I even go out on a date with you. And he was like, yeah, I got all that. I ain't got no kids. Lie. He said, he got his own house, his own car. He got a job. He a Christian, all these things. So I was like, cool. Let's go out. So a couple days before we go out, right? We set the time, we set the date, we set the place. A couple days before we actually supposed to meet up, I get this call. And keep in mind that I am busy, so I be places. And so he was like, I got to come see you. And I was like, I am out right now. It's Sunday morning. I'm preparing to go to church. I'm on my way. He was like, I'm going to meet you there. What? He going to meet me at church? I was like, okay. But just know that you're not my man. I ain't about to introduce you to nobody. And he was like, oh, I can't even stay. I was like, okay. So I was like, but I'm busy, because I'm singing on the praise team. I'm the financial store. I got to do stuff. I just can't show up and sit down. I got stuff to do. And so he was like, it's just be quick. It'll be 5 minutes. So he pulls up. I text him the location. He pulls up. And I was like, I don't really got time for a meet and greet. I am busy. So I walk outside, and it is hot. I live in North Carolina, and it is summertime. It is hot outside, even in the morning. So I'm like, God, it's hot. I'm kind of sweating a little bit. And so I'm sweating. And he coming up late. I'm on my way. I'm 5 minutes away. But he late. And so when he pull up in this car, he get out and he looks raggedy from head to toe. Like he rolled out of bed, put on the shirt and the shorts from the night before, got on them, them busted slides with them dingy socks. And I'm just like, what? What was so important that you had to meet me? What was so important that you, on this Sunday morning in this hot sun, got me out here outside the church sweating and you looking like a bum? And he just walks over like he looked good. Like he put some effort into his outfit. Like this is what he planned to wear and he was wearing it well. And I'm looking at him like, what is going on? So I was like, okay, this is about to be nonsense. And he started talking about, I just couldn't wait till our date. I just had to see you before. Like, I was like, what? And he kept licking his lips like he looked good. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Then I got a little embarrassed because people was walking by and they was like, who this man? Of course he ain't coming to church looking like that. But of course I was like, you know what? Okay. You know what? I just brushed it off. Second red flag. What was the urgency? He wasn't talking about nothing. Talking about I just had to see you. What? That could have waited. That we had phones with video chat then. It was 2019. I don't know what kind of phone he had, honestly. But we could have set something up. You did not have to see me that early in the morning on a hot Sunday morning. So now, time for the date. So this is how he set me up for the trap, y'all. So I call him and we talking, everything cool, everything breezy, everything light. And then I was like, okay, let's go on the date. So I was like, I don't even know if I'm interested in this point, but I was like, I'm a woman of my word, which why? I should have just not went. Why did I go? So we go out. And he tells me he's got to meet me at the place because his car is in the shop. Now, mind you, I saw him pull up in his car, though it was raggedy. It was a car. That is a criteria of mine, right? The requirement was met. So I was like, okay, I don't care what kind of car you got as long as you get you where you need to go. So he was like, I got to meet you at the spot because my car in the shop. And I was like, okay, that's understandable. Life happens. Whatever else happens. So we go and we get there. He was like, my car in the shop. And he lost his debit card. I was like, your car in the shop. You lost your debit card. And we still meeting up? Like, you want to schedule for another time? Like, this seems like a lot. And he was like, no. Let's keep going. So I don't know how he got there. We at the spot. He pulls out a wad of cash. I'm talking about stacks on stacks on racks on racks. Like, I don't know, so much cash to pay for the date. Because, when he had said he lost his debit card, I was like, that's why I was like, let's reschedule because I ain't about to pay. Not I. So everything is fine. The date was like, it wasn't bad. I'm just like, in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, you got so much stuff going on. He pulls out this wad of cash. He pays. Cool. And then I was like, this is suspicious. You lost your debit card, but now you get this wad of cash. Like, did you? I'm confused. I was confusion. So, the date was fine. It wasn't like it was bad or anything. And so at the end of the day, he asked me out again. And in the back of my head, I'm like, no, thank you. I do not want this. I don't want to go. I don't want to see you again. But you know me, trying to people please, saying yes. And I was like, okay. I'm just like, okay, I had no reason to believe he was lying at this time because why? People, my shot was in the car sometimes. I have lost my debit card before. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give him another chance. It might not be all that bad. I'm just, I was hot that day. He got on my nerves a little bit. All this stuff just kind of piling up and rolling together. But I was like, okay, that's fine. Then we talk. We go out again. Another wad of cash. We meet up again. How are you getting to these places? I don't see you pull up. I don't see you leave. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just confused. So we go out again. And you probably like, girl, why are you going out with him so much? Why his car still in the shop on the third day? Why his debit card still lost on the third day? And then this time, he takes me home. But in the meantime, in between time, he don't take me home. I take him home. But I'm skipping stuff. In the meantime, we talking. And every time we talk, he at somebody else's house. He had his cousin house. He had his boy house. He had his mama house. He had another cousin house. He had a friend house. Like, why you never home? So I asked him this. I was like, first of all, why your car still in the shop? What is going on with your car? And he told me some long drawn out story. And I was like, I don't even know about all that. And then I was like, well, when you going to get your replacement debit card? And then he was like, another long story about nothing. And then I was like, why you never home? I have never seen you, heard you, seen you, because at this point we are video chatting. And he's like, I ain't never seen you in your house. You always with your friend, your cousin, your mama, your other cousin, your homeboy, like at somebody else's house. Why you never at home? And so I'm starting to put two and two together. I'm starting to add. And I'm like, wait a minute. This math ain't mathing. You homeless. And you ain't got no car. And you got multiple kids, more than one. And then when I was talking about him, he was like, okay, I got a new job. So I was like, a new job? What happened to the old one? And when he started talking about these jobs, I was like, what? First of all, what I think personally is what Gary was doing was trapping, right? So he always had that big wad of cash. He ain't had no bank account. So he just carried it on him. And then I was out here almost getting trapped because he was whining and dining me. I ain't gonna lie. Right? Until that last time I had to take him home, I was like, I'm not driving this man around nowhere. So what are the lessons I have learned? One, follow the signs. When you get them red flags, believe them. When he kept talking about why his car was in the shop so long. When he had that big wad of cash when you could have paid for it by now. Whose car was that you was driving? Why your debit card been lost so long? Why you never home? I was just so confused. So I was like, you know what? The last time I dropped him off at his house, I was like, I'm not going to go out with you again. I'm not romantically interested. And he still be texting me from time to time from different numbers because my number has not changed. And I'll be like, who is this? And he'll be like, Gary. We just call him Gary. And I'll be like, boy, if you don't go somewhere, go on somewhere. I hope you done found a stable job and a place to live because you ain't going to trick me. I almost got caught up. That cash. Yeah, it was fancy. It was nice. It was, it was nice to be paid for, because I won't pay. But the lesson I have learned, follow them flags. You see them. We all see them. We just choose to ignore them. The red flags are there for a purpose. Now imagine if I had really got with this man. What would have happened in my life? Who knows? I might have got caught up in something. I was taking that man home to sketchy places, and I'm telling you, it was sketchy. So I was like, okay. So I was like, wait a minute. Why am I continuing with this man knowing he don't meet the criteria no more? Because I wanted to date, because I felt fancy, because I felt valued getting their attention. And I learned that, it's okay to like that sometimes, but not to the detriment of your health, of your emotions, to your life. Girl, get it together. And then I was like, wait a minute. Let me not be so hard on myself, right? I did have a good time, but I need to learn to say no and mean it and stick to it and go with my gut. Follow my instincts, follow the leading of the Holy Spirit. And there's no condemnation, right? I'm not going to condemn myself. I did a thing. I should not have done it, or I should not have allowed it to last as long as it did. But I learned from my mistakes. So I am glad I learned it. I learned not to ignore the red flags. I learned to vet these men properly before I actually go out on a date with them, to ask more clarifying questions, to not just take their word for it, to sometimes people are telling the truth, right? And I did learn that I don't want to hold my past against the next person, right? I'm not going to drill the next man to death because that last man lied. What I am going to do, though, like I said, is going to ask some better questions so I can get that truth out there a little bit sooner so I don't be dealing with no dusty man who almost got me. He almost got me because he was cute, y'all. He was just a little bit fine. And that's probably also why I let it go on a little longer than I was supposed to, because that man was attractive to me. And he thought I was attractive too. So we was all, attracted to each other. So that's why I went on a little bit longer, because I enjoyed looking at his face and I enjoyed him spending his money on me. But the bottom line is, if this is not aligning with what I want, with what I need, with what I envision my future to be, then I got to let it go. I got to cut it. And I hope that y'all found some freedom in that, and the joy in it all is that the lesson I learned, I got to have a good time, and I got to get some better questions to ask the next one. And I must say, that was 2019. It is now 2022. Though I am not currently dated right now, it is March. I will be in April. Y'all pray for me. Keep your girl in prayer, because I will be dating next month. I'm going to get back on the apps. I'm going to go back outside because they done lifted some restrictions. They done lifted all the restrictions. They act like COVID ain't here no more. But I'm going to be going outside. I'm going to be looking cute like I always do. And I'm going to be on the apps looking even cuter like I always do. Actually, I think I look cuter in person. But anyway, I'm going to be on the apps and I'll be outside. So dates going to happen. So keep your girl in prayer. And I'll keep y'all in prayer. And just remember to live. Remember to be free. And remember to have joy. Choose joy in every area. And I will talk to y'all next time. Love y'all. Bye.